say that you're wonderful, but it doesn't seem good enough. I can say that you're kind, but that would miss the mark. I can say that you're beautiful, but to me you are so much more. How do I communicate exactly who you are? I'm trying to convey the sentiment of my heart and say I really do appreciate.
This is Melissa George. You're currently watching the Conscious Confidence in Christ Bible Study Series. This week we are talking about Hanukkah. I'm very excited about this study. I'm very excited about it because we're talking about Hanukkah. Stay with me on this, okay? There is significant meaning in the Christian walk of faith that correlates to Hanukkah because the roots of Christianity are in Orthodox Judaism. And like it or leave it, Jesus Christ himself celebrated Hanukkah. I'm going to give you the brief history on Hanukkah, but let it be known that the events of Hanukkah happened before Christ, and it was made into a yearly 8-day holiday by the religious leaders of the time, and from that day on, it has been celebrated yearly. It is common knowledge that a good Jewish person, male or female, would come to celebrate Hanukkah, just like they would Purim, just like they would the Festival of Tabernacles, just like they would Passover and Yom Kippur and Rosh Hashanah. So we're going to talk about Hanukkah and how it relates to the Christian walk and what we can gain from it, what the community of Christians and Messianic Jews can take from Hanukkah and incorporate into our everyday lives. I'm going to talk about the history of Hanukkah very briefly first off, and then we're going to get into the lesson because a lot of people don't really know where the origins of Hanukkah are or why people celebrate Hanukkah, period. So first we're going to start talking about the history of Hanukkah. In my notepad, I've got notes about Hanukkah because it's always good to be prepared. So in around 200 BC, the year 200 before Christ, those of you who don't like that term, before Common Era is used, I don't really care because I believe that Christ defined history in a radical way, so I use the term before Christ. Please bear with me and count it all in love. So, in the year 200 BC, 200 before Christ, Antiochus IV came into power. Now, Antiochus IV was this really corrupt, evil Syrian Greek who outlawed the practice of Orthodox Judaism. He made it against the law, and it was a crime punishable by death to worship God the way that the Jews did. And many people died. They said in the year 168, he unleashed a massacre in Jerusalem, and he took over the temple, sacrificed a pig, officially desecrated the temple. He named himself a god and erected the image of Zeus within the temple, within the Jewish temple, and said that this was the object of worship in the temple. And like I said before, he outlawed the practice of Judaism, and many Jews were really, really conflicted. They didn't know if they wanted to fight or if they wanted not to fight. A lot of people said, well, we want to live in peace. We're only a small people. Let's just go with it. But there was one man who was a priest, Mattathias. I think I pronounced his name right. Please forgive me if I haven't. But his name is Mattathias, and he was a priest. And he and his 5 sons said that we're not going to stand for this. And they actually began a revolt that was known as the Maccabean Revolt. The Maccabean Revolt was an onslaught of guerrilla warfare that actually it was revolutionary. It was absolutely revolutionary. In the year 166 BC, Mattathias died, and his son Judah Maccabee took over the cause of regaining the right to worship. Within 2 years, Judah, within 2 years, Judah Maccabee and the Jews who fought with him had regained the right to worship. They, in celebration, took over the temple again, and they decided to rededicate the temple. And in the process of rededicating the temple, they had to light the menorah. Within the temple, there was a store of untainted oil. This was a special recipe oil that the Lord had special requirements for, and there was only 1 day supply of this untainted oil. There was just a 1 day supply. The miracle of Hanukkah is the fact that they used this oil and it lasted for 8 whole nights. The oil burned for 8 nights. It was only meant to burn for 1 night, and it burned for 8 nights. This is the miracle of Hanukkah. And so the story of Hanukkah is a story with layers. I'm talking layers. The story of Hanukkah talks about faith. The story of Hanukkah talks about conviction. The story of Hanukkah talks about family. The story of Hanukkah talks about perseverance and dedication and sticking true to what you believe in. And we're going to get a little bit more into Hanukkah in a little while, just about what the biblical implications for the Christian and the Messianic Jew alike are in reference to Hanukkah, the festival of the dedication. That's coming to you in just a little while. Click the next video over and you'll see the rest. Please stay tuned. You're really going to enjoy from this.
You brighten up my day.